Before we begin, hi, good afternoon, Assalamualaikum. Ada tak any of you from cohort 18, Penang? Okay, thank you. So just nak make sure kamu dapat invitation. Okay, kalau baru join, please sign in attendance dulu. It's in the meeting details. Click the I icon. You should be able to click on it. Okay, so welcome to class. Today, there's a few changes. I'm in campus today. We are conducting a face-to-face practical class for some of your final, some of our final year students, cohort 35, 36, 38. So that's why we have to come in this week and next week. Alright, so kita akan sambung, continue our lesson. We're still in chapter 1, but in the final, a few subtopics of chapter 1. Hari ini kita akan go through unit conversions. Okay, last week kita ada discuss about significant figures. Hari ini kita akan go through unit conversions, and then saya nak kaitkan unit conversion tu dengan significant figures. Hello, testing. Hello, testing. Clear tak? Kalau ada echo.
Sir, ada echo, sir.
Alright. Right now, okay tak?
Now much better, sir.
Better, alright. Thank you. Testing. Okay. So kita akan discuss tentang unit conversion. So saya nak join this. This business lesson. Wait, let me share the invitation link dalam chat. So a bit revision. Last week, our last class, we discussed about significant figures. What is it? What is it for? The importance of significant figures and how. Testing. Okay. So, and lastly, how to identify significant figures. And how exactly we are going to identify significant figures? We use this set of rules. So you can see on your screen right now these 4 rules. The first one being all non-zero digits are significant, zeros between non-zero digits are significant. So we follow this set of rules.
whether that digit, that figure is significant or not. So hari ni related to significant figures, kita nak tengok how to convert units. Because bila kita buat, when we perform analysis, when we perform measurements, be it volume or temperature, mass, ataupun pressure, we need to measure with sometimes different conditions, using different instruments. So, in order to make sure the math and the chemistry of the calculations are right, we need to convert these units. And later, there will be example demonstrating what I said just now. I'll explain, I'll elaborate panjang in this physics lesson. Okay. So, masih lagi echo ah. Saya lupa bawa headphone to work. So, that's why saya pakai phone.
Kalau saya tak pakai phone punya audio, can you hear me clearly? Better, huh?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so I'm not using the phone lah. Much better, alright. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Alright, where's the quizzes lesson? Okay, saya mula dulu ya. Alright, so metric conversions. Before we begin this lesson, this is what I want you to focus on. So there are a lot of metric units and non-metric units. Tapi in chemistry, specifically dalam modul pharmaceutical chemistry 1, I want you to at least to be able to convert the units yang kamu nampak in your screen right now. So these are the 4 types of measurements that I want you to be efficient in. Saya nak kamu mahir dalam mengukur volume, temperature, mass, and pressure. Okay, these are the basic fundamental units that you will be dealing with in chemistry. So you need to be able to have a strong foundation in performing calculations using these parameters, unit in these parameters. So for example, volume, isi padu. Kita measure the volumes dalam unit milliliter, liter, centimeter cubic and decimeter cubic. Kalau temperature, we convert between degree Celsius and Kelvin. Mass, berat, jisim, we use milligram, grams and kilograms. Kalau pressure, tekanan, we use atmospheric pressure, ATM, kilopascal and torr. Ada some setengah yang lain lagi, millimeter of mercury, mmHg. Alright, so this is pertama the set of skills yang saya nak kamu mahir by the end of this chapter. Okay, so with that in mind, to move forward. Okay. Slow pula. Okay, so how to convert this? How would you convert this? 43,000 kilogram to gram. What's the first step? Somebody is joining. How would you even begin to convert from kilogram to gram? Okay, So kat sini dia bagilah like a cue how to remember. So kalau nak convert from horse to fly, from something that is big in size to something to smaller in size, you you multiply, kamu besarkan dia, kamu darabkan dia. Kalau nak convert from something small to big, kamu divide. Why so hang? So for example, kalau nak convert from horse to fly, okay, so kilograms is larger than grams. So kilogram is horse. Fly in this case, in this analogy adalah gram. Okay, so kalau kau nak convert, if you want to convert from kilograms to gram, you need to multiply. But the problem is multiply with what? Okay, so that will be your question right now. So the magic number here is 1000. Okay, so kalau nak convert from kilogram to gram, you need to multiply the kilogram with 1000 because that is the conversion factor antara kilogram dan gram. Okay, this is because the word kilo stands for 1 times 10 to the power of 3. So that's why ditulis kat sini 1000 gram bersamaan dengan 1 kilo. Okay, the word kilo, apologies siap. The word kilo equals to 1 darab 10. Oh, sorry. 10 kuasa 3. 10 kuasa 3 equals to 1000. So kilo basically means 1000. So if you want to convert from kilogram to gram, that's why you need to multiply the gram with 1000. Because K here basically means 1000. Okay, ini kita panggil sebagai scientific notation. We have gone through last week tapi very fast. Okay, so most of you have answered. So jawapan kat sini adalah, it's a very large number. Ada option 43 million lah. 43 million grams. Okay, because you convert 43,000 ni, 43,000 you multiply by 1000 because K here, kilo ni bermaksud 1000. So when you darab dengan 1000, 43 darab dengan 1000, you just add 30 lah at the back. Okay, basic multiplication. You learn that dalam sekolah rendah. So you just need to understand what does the kilo stand for. Okay, itu benda baru yang kamu perlu tahu sekarang. Why do we need to multiply by 1000? Okay, what is the conversion factor? So another example, from centimeter to meter. So remember the analogy, if something big to small, from horse to fly, you divide. Sorry, you multiply. Kalau nak convert from small to big, you divide. So in this case, centimeter to meter. Centimeter we know is smaller than meter. So cm is fly and then meter is horse. So that means you need to divide. Okay? So what do you divide with? 100. Okay? So why do you divide by 100? Because centi here means, saya nak tunggu soalan keluar dulu so that you can answer. Okay, sama macam kilogram. Kilo stands for 1 darab 10 kuasa 3. So centi here means 1 darab 10 kuasa negative 2. Okay, centi here means 1 darab 10 kuasa 2. 10 kuasa 2 ni bermaksud 1 bahagi dengan 10 darab dengan 10. So bila 1 darab dengan 1 bagi 10, basically we can write like this. 10 darab dengan 10 And this equals to 1 bahagi dengan 100. Okay, so senti means 1 bahagi dengan 100. So that's why dalam soalan tadi, we divide by 100 if we want to convert to meter from centimeter. Because centi, C here, means 1 bahagi dengan 10. So kalau 345 centimeter, this C here basically means 345, kamu buat kurungan. Darab dalam kurungan 1/100. Because we have established centi equals to 1/100. So that's why 345 tadi dibahagikan dengan 100. So 345 divided by 100. So 1 and 2 equals to 3.45 meter. Is that what you guys answered mostly? Okay, so what I want you to understand kat sini adalah what does this unit mean? Centimeter, meter. Okay, ini kita panggil sebagai metric unit dan juga scientific notation. Okay, so that's why kat sini ada some of you jawab salah. So make sure kamu tahu macam mana nak divide 345 bagi dengan 100, lompat je ke belakang. There's a titik perpuluhan here, depan 5 ni tarik ke belakang, 1 dan 2. Kenapa tarik ke belakang sebanyak 2 kali? Because 100 ada kosong. Alright, so that's why 1 dan 2, 3.45. Okay, lagi, let's try to convert volume pula. Okay, so volume, sama juga macam tadi, it would help you kalau kamu boleh imagine a chart and remember this analogy. If you want to convert to something smaller, you multiply. Kalau nak get into bigger, you divide. Okay, so in this case, milliliter is smaller than liter. So kat sini tulis milliliter equals to the fly and liter here is the horse. So you need to divide. Kalau nak convert from milliliter to liter, you need to divide. Bahagikan. 8,400 tu kena bahagikan dengan conversion factor. So bahagikan dengan apa? That is the problem. We need to determine the factor, the magic number in this case, iaitu 1,000. Okay, so kenapa kena bahagikan dengan 1,000? Sama juga macam sentimeter, kilogram. Milli here means, we wait for the question to come up. Okay, milli here means, kalau senti 10 kuasa negatif 2, milli means 1 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3. So this means 1/10 darab 10 darab 10. And this means 1 bagi dengan 10. So that's why kalau kamu nak convert from milliliter to liter, kamu just expand. M ni stands for 1 bagi dengan 1000. So that's why kalau kamu nak convert, what value tadi yang ada bagi? 8,400. Oops, sorry, saya terlepas pen saya. So if you want to convert 8,400 ml to liter, you just expand this. Milli stands for 1 bahagi dengan 1000. So 8,400 darab dengan 1/1000 liter. So 8,400 divided by 1,000, sama macam tadi, just 1, 2, 3. So equals to 8.4 liter. Tak ada orang jawab ke? Saya punya quizzes hang. So the key here is you need to know the conversion factor. Nak darab dengan 100 ke, nak bahagi dengan 100 ke? Nak darab dengan 1000 ke, bahagi dengan 1000. So you need to know that beforehand before you begin any calculations. So the right answer here is adalah 8.4 liter. Okay, thank you. Congrats, ramai. 99% jawab betul. So now you have understood. So that's why dekat sini, these are the things yang saya nak highlight. Kalau kamu nak get better, get efficient in converting units manually, maksud saya kamu kena tulis jalan kerja. Okay, because you can just Google these days, kamu boleh Google, kamu boleh, kalau kamu have that scientific calculator, there's a function conversion, kamu boleh convert the units directly using the computer. But if you don't have that, you can just Google. Okay, what is 100 liter in milliliter? Tapi kalau kamu, if you need to perform calculations, if you need to do work without the help of your devices, you need to understand the relationship between these units. Okay, so kat sini kalau ada metric mass, this is the unit that we convert from kilogram, gram, centigram, and milligram. So these are the factors. Kalau nak convert from kilogram to gram, you darab by 1000. From gram to centigram, you darab dengan 100. Okay, kalau milligram, darab dengan 10. And then kalau nak convert the other way around, patah balik, bahagi sajalah with the same value. Okay, ini mass. Kalau volume, 1 mililiter bersamaan dengan 1 centimeter cubic. Okay, both of these unit are the same. ml dengan cm cubic sama. Decimeter dia tak tunjuk di sini. So 1 liter bersamaan dengan 1000 centimeter cubic. 1 liter juga bersamaan dengan 1000 mililiter. Right? Another one adalah pressure. So these are pressure, dia menarik sikit. Okay? So pressure because of the units bukan dalam apa nama? It's not in metric. Contohnya macam ATM. So we use ATM as SI unit kalau buat calculations. So tekanan dalam paras permukaan bumi ini, sea level is 1 ATM. Okay, we are feeling 1 atmospheric pressure right now. If you go deeper into the ocean, tekanan semakin meningkat. If you go higher towards the altitude, tekanan semakin rendah. If you panjat gunung somewhere, you go into higher altitude, if you fly into a plane at higher altitude, tekanan semakin rendah. Okay? So the conversion yang kita buat selalu menggunakan pressure adalah between ATM dengan Pascal ataupun kilo Pascal. Sometimes we use bar. Okay, sometimes kita guna torr, T-O-R-R. Okay, these are the three yang kita selalu guna. Pascal, bar, and torr. I heard somebody not join. Sorry. Saya punya audio laptop ni tak kuat, so saya tak dengar bunyi notification. So kalau ada orang nak join, please turn on your mic and bagi tahu so that saya dengar. Okay, so another example kat sini, kalau 2.7 liter to milliliter. So we want to convert from something big, which is liter, to something that is small. Okay, so remember this analogy. If you want to convert from something big to something small, you multiply with a factor, with a conversion factor. So you remember 1 liter bersamaan dengan 1000 milliliter. So this is the conversion factor. So you multiply by 1000 because 1 liter bersamaan dengan 1000 milliliter. So dekat sini kita ada 2.7 liter. So what is the value in milliliter? Dia dah bagi jalan kerja kat situ. You just multiply by 1000. So 2.7, you just multiply by 1000, you will get the answer. Okay, so the key word here, saya nak stress lagi sekali, bukan the keyword, the key thing, the key information yang kamu perlu faham kat sini adalah there you will need a conversion factor. In this case, dalam contoh ni, the conversion factor adalah 1 liter bersamaan dengan 1000 mililiter. 1 kilogram bersamaan dengan 1000 gram. That sort of thing. Okay? So let's end this question. I hope everyone get it right. Thank you. Okay, so that's basically it. This is the fundamental basic, okay, simple example so that you would get the idea. So moving on, another one in length pula. Okay, so you need to know meter is bigger than centimeter. Okay, remember centi is 1 darab 10 kuasa negatif 2. So you divide the meter by 100. Okay, so this is the conversion factor. 100 centimeter bersamaan dengan 1 meter. So that's why kalau nak convert from meter to centimeter, you need to multiply, besarkan dia. Okay, so what is the value here? Meter to centimeter, ni maybe kamu dah familiar meter centimeter. We use this in schools, sekolah rendah, sekolah menengah, SPM. So you should be able to handle conversion unit panjang meter centimeter ni. Dan ya.
Ada yang nak masuk.
Alright, thank you. Okay, so this should be kamu dah familiar lah. Okay, meter to centimeter tadi. Yang saya risau adalah macam pressure. Apa lagi satu? Pressure and temperature. Okay, that is something new. Okay, make sure kamu tahu nak bahagi, nak harap macam mana. Ada 2 orang salah kat sini. Okay, 4.5 darab dengan 100, you just bawa ni ke depan ni. Titik perpuluhan ni, kalau nak cepat lah. Okay, you just bawa titik perpuluhan ke depan. 1 dan 2. That's why jawapan dia 450. I heard lagi. Okay, another one. Millimeter to centimeter. So the hint, the conversion factor here is adalah 1 cm bersamaan dengan 10 mm. So kalau nak convert, what do you need to do? From something big to something small ke small to something big kat sini? Kamu kena establish dulu, siapa yang kecil, siapa yang besar. So if you understand that, kamu dah nampak tu, you know the next step. Nak kena bagi ke nak kena darab. So kalau dah tahu nak kena bagi ke nak kena darab, kamu kena figure out nak kena darab dengan bagi dengan apa pula.
Sir, ada orang nak link yang untuk quiz lah, sir.
Ada orang nak apa? Oh, nak link quiz eh?
Untuk quiz.
Okay, so post the link dekat dalam chat room. Okay, let's end the question dulu. Kat sini kita kena apa nama, millimeter to centimeter. Millimeter is smaller than centimeter. So remember, kalau nak convert something small to something big, kamu kena bahagi. Okay, so kamu nak kena bahagi dengan apa? Bahagi dengan 10. So that's why 987 bahagikan dengan 10 dapatlah 98.7. Okay, another example, masih lagi length, panjang, distance, 10 meters to millimeters. Yes, dia dah tak bagi dah the conversion factor. So, can you do this? Nak kena bagi ke darab. Lepas dah figure out nak kena bagi ke darab, nak kena bagi dengan darab dengan what number? Okay, so kat sini kamu establish dulu siapa yang besar, siapa yang kecil. So meter is larger than millimeter. Convert ni meter kepada millimeter, kamu kena darabkan dia. Tapi nak darabkan dengan berapa? Okay, so kat sini kamu kena understand milli tu stands for 1 bahagi dengan 1000. Okay, so kalau nak convert 10 meter to millimeter, kamu kena darabkan dengan 1000. So kalau kamu tak nampak, saya dah tulis kat sini millimeter, this is what it stands for. Millimeter equals to 1/1000. So if you have 10 meter, kamu nak convert kepada millimeter, so kamu tulis balik macam ni, 10 meter 1/1000 meter. This is milli here. M ni adalah milli. Okay, so kalau M ni adalah milli, kita gantikan dia 1/1000. So kalau nak convert 10 to millimeter, 1000 ni kamu bawa to this side. So 10 darab dengan 1000. Betul 1000. So that's why dalam this problem kamu dapat 10,000 because 10 darab dengan 1000 equals to 10,000 milli. Okay, so be careful, make sure you understand. Ataupun if you want, if you prefer another method, kamu boleh guna darab silang. Okay, so darab silang basically means ni apa tadi, meter dengan millimeter. Okay, so millimeter macam mana harus sebut? 1 meter bersamaan dengan 1000 meter. Astaga. 1000 milimeter. Oh, saya pun dah blur. Okay, so this is the conversion factor. 1 meter bersamaan dengan 1000 milimeter. So if you have a value here, 10 meter, berapa milimeter? So kalau 1 sama dengan 1000, the conversion factor adalah 1 meter ni darab dengan 1000. So this is the conversion factor. 1 meter darab dengan 1000 dapatlah 1000 milimeter. So kalau kita ada 10 meter in value here, we still need to multiply with that factor 1000. So 10 darab dengan 1000 dapatlah 10,000 milimeter. So this is another way lah of understanding this calculation. Okay, so that's it. That's basically how you perform conversion of unit. Tetapi yang saya nak highlight kat sini adalah the ones yang kamu tak pernah familiar with yet. Okay, contohnya macam mana tu tadi? Macam ATM, pressure units. Okay, so saya nak kamu familiar with pressure and temperature unit. Okay, because itu yang kita akan go through banyak dalam kita punya module. Okay, so for example, you need to understand kat sini dalam this, I need to, no error. Okay, that's it, that processor. Yang saya nak kamu faham kat sini, example kat sini adalah conversion antara from ATM to kilopascal. Okay, so this is the conversion factor. 1 ATM bersamaan dengan 101.325 kilopascal. Okay, let me write that down. So kalau pressure units, saya nak kamu faham the conversion factor. ATM, 1 ATM bersamaan dengan 101.325 kilo. Okay, so kalau kalau kamu nak convert, katakanlah okay, 2 ATM, convert 2 ATM to kilopascal, what do you need to do? So you need to understand here is, sini susah kalau kamu nak relate macam length ataupun mass tadi. Kamu tahu siapa yang kecil, siapa yang besar. It's easier. Tapi kat sini saya tak nak kamu fikir macam tu kalau rasa berserabut. So I prefer if you just use this method instead. Okay, darab silang. Cross multiplication. So 1 ATM equals to 101.325 kilopascal. So this is the conversion factor. So if you have 2 ATM, kamu nak convert dia kepada kilopascal, what you need to do adalah you take 2 ni darab dengan 101.325 kilopascal. And then you have the value here. Okay? Another example, contohnya kalau macam dah kalau the other way around pun sama juga, kalau nak convert from kilopascal to ATM. Okay, so this is still the same value. Katakanlah dia bagi 200 kilopascal, how to convert to ATM? Okay, so first you have to understand this conversion factor. 1 ATM bersamaan dengan 101 kilopascal. So it will help if you write the number down, write the conversion factor down. 1 ATM, tak tahu kat sini, kilo equals to, astaga, sorry, my bad. 101.325 kilopascal equals to 1 ATM. So how can you solve this adalah menggunakan darab silang. So I would do like this, the ratio. So 1 ATM bahagikan dengan 101.325 kilopascal equals to X ATM. This is X ATM. Kita nak cari value X ni. Okay? And then divide by 200 kilopascal. Oops. 200 kilopascal. And then just jadikan X ni as your unknown. Bagi dia duduk seorang-seorang. So that means 200 kPa ni, 200 kilopascal, you bring to the left hand side. So that would make 200 kilopascal multiply with 1 ATM divide by 101.325 kilopascal equals to X ATM. So X, that means X ATM equals to, darablah 200 darab dengan 1 bagi dengan 101 and you have the value kat sini. Okay, ini kita panggil sebagai cross multiplication. How do you, oops, sorry, ada notification, Windows notification tu besar. Excuse me. Where was I just now? Okay, so the first thing you need to understand, kalau kamu nak convert unit ni, kamu mesti tahu dia punya conversion factor. This thing, 1 ATM bersamaan dengan berapa kilopascal. You need to understand the relationship of both units. Samalah, ini samalah macam 1 meter bersamaan dengan 100 cm. Okay, 1 meter bersama dengan 1000 milimeter. 1 kilo bersamaan dengan 1000 kilogram. So this is basically what it means here. Okay, the relationship antara dua unit yang besar dan yang kecil. Kilogram pula. Gram. Okay, cuma perbezaannya kat sini adalah the value is tak semudah metrik macam metrik unit ni, 1, 100, 1, 1000. So this is a bit different. So kamu akan rasa macam challenging, it's not as easy as multiplying and dividing with 100, 1000. It's such a nice number, kan 100,000, senang. Kat sini 101.325 kilopascal. So it's a bit confusing kat sini. So I think it would help kalau kamu get familiar, meaning kamu buat some practice questions, tutorial, so that you can see. But if you understand the relationship, sama aja macam nak convert 1 meter kepada 100 cm. 1 kilo kepada kepada gram. Okay? Sama juga dengan temperature. Okay, temperature values in chemistry kita tak guna in our final reporting values data kita tak guna degree Celsius. We use Kelvin. Okay, unit Kelvin untuk temperature. Because kalau unit Kelvin ni we prefer it because dia boleh measure mana dia? Absolute zero. Absolute zero. Okay, that means of zero Kelvin. So zero Kelvin ni adalah suhu di mana bila sesuatu bahan tu beku, dia beku sampailah dia punya molekul pun beku. Dia tak bergetar sedikit pun. That's why dia dikenali sebagai absolute zero. Kosong yang mutlak. Okay, because nothing moves at 0 Kelvin. And 0 Kelvin equals to negative 700. I forgot. Apologies, sorry. Ada tak kat sini? Kelvin to Celsius. My bad. 273 saja. Astaghfirullahaladzim. Okay. So 0 Kelvin equals to negative 273. My bad. 273 kalau nak specific to 5 significant figures, 15 degrees Celsius. So this is the temperature where when it is frozen, the substance down to the molecular atom pun beku. That means dia tak bergetar, dia tak bergerak langsung. Okay, even the electrons in the substance tidak bergerak. Okay, that's why it is known as absolute zero, and that's why in chemistry, in physics, when we perform calculations, we use the unit Kelvin. So this is the relationship antara Kelvin dan juga degree Celsius. So kalau kita dapat value dalam degree Celsius, kalau nak convert dia kepada Kelvin, kita kena tolak 273. Because Kelvin lebih besar daripada degree Celsius. Kalau kita ada 1 Kelvin, nak convert kepada degree Celsius, so what do we do adalah kita tambah dengan negatif 273. Because kosong bersamaan dengan, my bad, sekejap. Kosong Kelvin. Apologies lah, petang ni saya pun dah blur. So kalau 1 je, so tambahlah, betul, yes. Tambah. Where is it? Kita tambah. Okay, so kita tambah kat sini. Tambah dengan 273. Negatif 273, my bad. Okay, so kalau kosong dengan ni, kalau nak convert from kosong kepada kosong Kelvin kepada degree Celsius, kita tambah negatif 273. So kalau kita ada 1, kita tambahlah. So that's why kalau 1 Kelvin, okay, I show you dalam calculator je. 1 plus negatif 273. Setelah negatif 272. Okay, so kalau 1 tadi, kita tambah negatif 273, so degree Celsius equals to 272. Negatif 272 degree Celsius. Itu cara kita convert from Kelvin to degree Celsius. Kalau the other way around pun sama. Katakanlah room temperature sekarang because of aircon, it's 25 degrees Celsius. So what is it in Kelvin? What is it in Kelvin? So you have to understand 0 Kelvin equals to negative 273 degrees Celsius. So kalau nak convert 25 kepada Kelvin, so Kelvin is bigger. So in this case kita just tambah tolak saja, tak ada bagi, tak ada darab. Okay, so 25 ni, 25 degrees Celsius kita, sorry, saya pun get confused in my head. Kalau kosong 27, negatif 273. If we get bigger, kita tambah lah. Tambah negatif 273. So to do the math, if it's 25 degrees Celsius, 298. Where is it? No. My bad. Berapa salah? Tambah 273. Saya tak nak, tengok saya pun dah confused, saya tak nak kamu pun terconfused. Okay, so let me find Kelvin to Celsius conversion factor. Sama lah. So I wrote down this now. So degree Celsius sama dengan Kelvin. Okay, this is the formula. This is better. Okay, so I want you to stick to this formula. So it's not that confusing. Okay, so kalau nak convert between degree Celsius and Kelvin, just use this formula. So degree Celsius equals to Kelvin tolak 273. Okay, so kalau dalam soalan saya tadi, soalan yang saya sendiri bagi tadi, kalau nak convert 25 degree Celsius, you just use the formula degree Celsius equals to Kelvin tolak 273. So kita ada kat sini 25 degree Celsius. What is it in Kelvin kan? So write down 25 degree Celsius. Degree Celsius equals to Kelvin tolak 273. I forgot about this formula. So that means jadikan Kelvin as our unknown. So 273 ni bawa to the left hand side. So 25 degree Celsius tambah 273 equals to the Kelvin lah. So that's why dapatlah 298. Okay, 273 tambah 25 dapatlah 298. Okay, apologies for the confusion. Sampai saya pun terkeliru sekali. So untuk convert the temperature units antara degree Celsius and Kelvin, you use this formula. Okay, so write it down somewhere, make sure kamu ada access atau kamu boleh Google macam saya Google tadi. Okay, easily can be found online. Okay, so let's take 5 saat. Saya nak get ready to the next lesson and then saya nak head to class. Yes, sorry, saya confused tadi. Saya kembali. Okay, so moving on, saya nak buat another exercise tapi saya tak, I don't need you guys to join. Just nak discuss saja these questions. Saya nak kaitkan significant figures dengan apa nama, converting units. Okay, so for example, dalam this slide significant figures, kita nak establish, so saya nak kamu mahir dulu macam mana nak determine significant figures yang ada dalam certain values. So for example, kalau value-nya adalah 0.002, 010. So the right answer kat sini adalah 4. So how do we know there are 4 significant figures here? So these are the rules yang kita kena follow. Okay, non-zero digits will always be significant. Any zeros between two significant digits are significant. Contohnya macam 201. Kosong kat tengah-tengah ni, dia terletak antara dua significant figures, 2 dan 1. So dia adalah significant. Okay, rule number 3, a final zero or trailing zeros in the decimal portion only are significant. So kosong yang di belakang, okay, trailing zeros will only be significant kalau ada decimal point, titik perpuluhan. So example 0.500. So 20 di belakang adalah significant. Another example 0.632 000. So kosong kat belakang ni adalah significant. Tetapi kalau kita ada kosong dekat depan, okay, kalau macam 0.006, so 330 kat depan ni tidak significant. Ataupun 0.000968, ini pun tidak significant. Bukan bermaksud dia tak penting, but in the kalau kamu nak buat kerja-kerja calculation, significant figures ni penting kalau kita nak bundarkan the values. Okay, so kita tak boleh bundarkan nombor di depan ni. So that's why dia tidak significant. Okay, bukan bermaksud dia tak penting ataupun kita boleh abaikan dia. Significant here means it is significant to the rounding of the values. So let's look at an example kat sini. Question number 4, 2730.78. So how many significant figures are there? Jawapannya adalah 6. Okay, so 2730.78. So let's go over the values, the digit one by 2. Oh my god, I forgot. 2730.78. 2730.78. Okay, jawapannya adalah 6 tadi kan, 6 significant figures. So how do we know it's 6? Tengok, rule number 1 kata all non-zero digits adalah significant. So how many non-zero digits here? Kita ada 1. This is non-zero, so significant. Ini pun significant. Ini pun significant. Ini pun significant. Ini pun significant. So we have 5 significant figures. And then kita ada 1 value kat sini kosong. So remember rule number 2 kata kalau kosong tu diapit oleh significant figures, dia juga adalah significant. So this is between 3 and 7, which are significant figures. So that means kosong ini pun significant. That's why jawapannya adalah 6. So kalau saya cakap, I give you an instruction, round this value, round 2730.78 ni kepada to 4 significant figures. Okay, that's my instruction to you. Bundarkan 2730.78 ni to 4 significant figures. So what does that mean adalah kamu kena bundarkan dia kepada 4 nombor bererti. So how would you do that adalah kamu determine dulu from left to right siapa yang signifikan. So kita dah establish tadi kesemua value ni, kesemua digit ni adalah signifikan. So kalau my instruction to you is bundarkan pada 4 sahaja, so that means this is 1, this is the first significant figure, this is the second, the third and the fourth. So kamu kena bundarkan kosong ini. So how would you do that? Tengok nombor di sebelah dia adalah 7. So kosong ni kena naik 1 lah because dia lebih daripada 7 ni lebih daripada 5. So that means 2, 7, 3, 1. So this is rounding this value to 4 significant figures. Kalau nak round to 5 significant figures, samalah tengok nombor 7 ni. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and this is 5. So bundarkan dekat 7 because this is the 5th significant figure. So tengok nombor sebelah 7 ni adalah 8. So kalau kita bundarkan kepada 5 significant figures, kita akan dapat 273.8. Okay, so this is why kamu kena tahu how to determine which figure, which digit is significant. So that bila kamu nak buat rounding, bila kamu nak buat bundaran, kamu tahu which digit kamu kena bundarkan. Okay, look at another example. 0.0076. So dia tulis kat sini 2 significant figure sahaja. 0.00, let me scroll it up. 0.00, how many kosong before 7? 2 kosong sahaja. So 7, 6. So kat sini ada 2 significant figures only. Okay, because rule number 1, all non-zero digits adalah significant. So this is significant, this is significant. Rule number 2 kata kosong yang di tengah-tengah significant figures adalah significant. Kita tak ada kat sini. We don't have it here. And rule number 3 kata zeros di belakang significant kalau ada titik perpuluhan. We don't have zeros at the back, but we have the one in front. So these 3 adalah tidak significant. Okay, so that's why kita ada 2 saja. So kalau saya kata bundarkan to 1 significant figure, kamu bundarkan this is the first lah, this is the first significant figure. So kalau nak bundarkan dia jadi 1 nombor bererti saja, tengok nombor ni 6, so jadilah 0.008. Now it has only 1 significant figure. Ini saja significant. Yang ini tidak significant. Same as example tadi. Kalau saya suruh bundarkan this value to 4 significant figures, so saya dah bundarkan this is 4 significant figures. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Ada 4 significant figures. Kalau saya bundarkan to 5 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Itu maksudnya. Okay. Another one, this is another example. Kalau 3,400 kilo, 3 dan 4 sahaja signifikan. Yang belakang ni tidak signifikan because tidak ada titik perpuluhan. So 3 dan 4 sahaja signifikan. Kalau in this case 3,400.0 meter square, kesemuanya signifikan. 3 ni signifikan, 4 pun, kosong yang di belakang pun signifikan. Okay. And then ada additional rule. Kalau kita perform calculations, addition and subtraction, kita perlu pilih. Okay, kalau contohnya we have 2 values here. You perform subtraction, tolak 234.22, tolak 34.1. So you remember the purpose of significant figures ni adalah untuk so that you would report values that you can measure with the tools that we have, ataupun the tools that we could find, that we could purchase, we could obtain somehow. So the smaller the value would be easier lah. So for example, kalau somehow in the lab kamu buat kerja-kerja calculation, you find yourself you need to tolak these two values ya. 234.22 kena tolak dengan 34.1. So kamu punya final answer tu should be dalam 2 titik perpuluhan ke 1 titik perpuluhan. So the rule here says, kita dah a standard rule, kalau kamu nak perform penambahan ataupun tolak, kamu perlu report the final value in the decimal point with the least number of significant figures. So kalau kamu ada dua value macam this problem, saya dibesarkan. Okay, anytime now. So if you have two values like this problem, 234.22 dengan 34. So kamu patut report the ones yang lebih kecil titik perpuluhannya. Okay, kita tak tengok significant figures. Kita tengok decimal point. Kita tengok the significant figures in the decimal portion only. So what that means is the significant figures dalam these two mana yang lebih sedikit. So ini 0.22 dengan 0.1. So kita pilih satu significant figures dalam decimal point sahaja. So kalau kamu perform calculation 234.22, okay, 234.22 tolak berapa tadi? Tolak 34.1. Is that what it is? 234.21. Okay, so the value adalah, kalau kamu tekan calculator, okay, if you key in this value in a calculator, 234.22 tolak 34.1, this is the value kamu dapat 200.12. Okay, kamu akan dapat 200.12. So the set of rules yang telah ditetapkan adalah kamu pilih beberapa titik perpuluhan yang kamu perlu settle with yang ada lebih sedikit nilai significant figures. So tengok dekat ini. Ini kita ada 2 significant figure. Yang ini ada satu sahaja. So our final answer, the set of rule telah tetapkan kita pilih yang mana nilainya lebih rendah. So our final answer should have only one significant figure dalam titik perpuluhannya. So kamu kena bundarkan this one to one significant figure only dalam titik perpuluhannya. So satu ni tengok sebelah dia adalah 2. So that's why final answer should be 200.1. Okay, itu maksud yang tulis panjang-panjang ni. Mana dia? Where is it? This one. Panjang-panjang dia tulis ni, itulah maksud dia. Okay, pilih the significant figures yang lebih rendah nilai dia antara dua value yang kita nak tambah ataupun tolak. Okay, berbeza dengan multiplication and division, we still choose the least amount, tapi kita ambil the whole value. Kita tak tengok pada titik perpuluhan sahaja. So for example, kalau kamu ada come across a problem like this, 3.11 darab dengan 2.1. So 3.11 multiply with how much tadi? 2.1. So your final answer ini yang kamu akan dapat 6.531. So the problem is 6.531 ni is the value dia lebih daripada value yang kita, the data that we have. Kita ada the most pun 3 significant figures. Okay, so that's why kita kena pilih the values yang kita mungkin boleh kira with the tools that we could obtain ataupun yang kita dah sedia ada. So that's why dalam rule ni dia dah set, choose the one mana dia? Choose the one with the least number of significant figures. Okay, so from the data that we have, ini maksud saya data. Kita ada dua value, 3.11 dan 2.1. So establish which one yang ada lebih rendah nilai significant figures. So 3.11 ada 3 significant figures, 2.1 ada 2 significant figures. So our final answer should be in 2 figures only also. So that's why daripada value tadi 6.531 tu kita only report 6.5. 3 dan 1 kat belakang ni is not significant. Okay, so ada perbezaan antara addition and subtraction dengan multiplication and division. Any questions? It could be confusing right now because there's too much information. Okay, so kalau did I hear anything? So kalau tidak ada soalan tentang unit conversion, saya nak masuk a new topic, iaitu solubility. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, ini dia. Okay, let me buka ni dulu lah, solubility, the PowerPoint. So solubility is interesting. It's important because as a person who study chemistry, the work involving chemistry involves a lot of solutions. Okay, kita buat kerja-kerja. If you want to perform any chemical reaction in the laboratory, kita akan prepare solutions dulu. Because most substance senang bertindak balas bila dia dalam solution, dalam bentuk liquid. So that's why dalam kerja-kerja chemistry, kalau kamu nampak any depiction of chemistry work dalam movies ke, dalam any TV shows, akan penuh dengan different kinds of solutions. So that's why dalam this module, we include a topic of solubility. Okay, kita nak understand how certain substance, how solvent in different types of solvent. So ada beberapa terms yang kamu perlu faham in order for you to understand solubility. So what is solubility? Basically, I myself understood it how well a solute dissolve in a solvent. So ada a few terms yang kamu kena faham. Mana dia? Okay, so insolubility, these are the terms. Solubility. So these are the terms yang saya nak kamu grind into your head. Kita ada solution, we have solute, and we have solvent. I always give out example air Milo. If you want to make air Milo dekat rumah, you would need to mix serbuk Milo, okay, Milo powder tambah dengan air, and then you would get air Milo. These are the basic ingredients, the basic makings of air Milo. Okay, Milo powder tambah air panas, kacau, kamu dapatlah air Milo. So the principle, the understanding of solubility, you could do it by understanding the making of air Milo. So kat dalam proses buat air Milo tu, what is the purpose of water? Okay, kita add water. We use water because water will dissolve all the serbuk Milo. Serbuk Milo akan larut di dalam air. So these are the terms equals to these three terms here. Okay, nama-nama ada. Milo in this case adalah solute, bahan yang akan larut, bahan terlarut. Air here in this case adalah pelarut, solvent. Air Milo adalah solution, bahan yang mempunyai bahan terlarut. Okay, so these are the terms yang saya nak kamu faham bila kita nak discuss tentang solubility. Okay, so for example, kalaulah kamu buat air Milo, if you take 1 tablespoon of Milo. And then you mix with, katakanlah kamu prepare 1 mug of water, hot water. Kamu akan dapat air Milo kan? You get 1 mug of air Milo. But 1 tablespoon is small kan? Small portion saja. Kamu tak akan dapat Milo yang sedap, Milo yang kau, tak manis, tak pekat. So, kalau kamu nak dapat Milo yang pekat, you would add katakanlah maybe 5 tablespoon of Milo. Tambah dengan the same amount of water, 1 mug juga of water. And then you get also 1 mug of air Milo. But yang kau nak, okay, lebih pekat. So the difference between these two, okay, this is solution number 1 and this is solution number 2. The difference between solution, air Milo number 1 dengan air Milo number 2 adalah the amount of solute. This one has 5 tablespoons of Milo powder. This one has only 1. Okay, so that is bila kita discuss tentang solubility, we look at the ability of the solvent to dissolve the amount of solute. So kalau this mug, this water, 1 mug of water ni dissolve 1 tablespoon, kita akan dapat air Milo tapi cair, tak kau, tak sedap. The same amount of water, dia boleh dissolve 5 tablespoon of Milo, and then kita akan dapat air Milo yang kau, yang pekat. Okay, that is solubility, the ability of the solvent to dissolve solute. On how well the solute can dissolve in certain solvent. Because ada banyak bahan pelarut bila kita perform kerja-kerja dalam lab, we not only use water as pelarut, we can use different kind of acid solution, basic solution. Contoh kalau acidic macam we can use hydrochloric acid, dilute nitric acid, sulfuric acid. Sometimes we can use alcohol, methanol, propanol, other substance like acetonitrile, chloroform. So ada banyak jenis lagi bahan pelarut. So that's why saya cakap, kita perlu consider juga how well solute dissolve in solvent, vice versa. Okay? So that's why dalam this slide, ada banyak faktor yang mempengaruhi solubility. Okay, so in this slide dia cakap solubility depends on temperature, pressure and juga polarity. These are the factors that affects solubility. For example, if you prepare air Milo menggunakan air yang mendidih, boiling hot water dengan air yang sejuk. Okay, mana satu yang lebih mudah serbuk Milo tu larut? Of course, kalau kamu pernah prepare air Milo, air panas is the better solvent. Okay, because the temperature, the higher temperature will help the solubility of the solute better. Okay, it has more energy to agitate the serbuk Milo to dissolve in the solvent. Okay, so high temperature mean high energy. The molecules of the water moves at a higher rate, bergetar dengan lebih laju. So these movements akan affect the serbuk Milo punya molekul juga. So dia akan basically kalau macam you imagine lah kalau kamu masuk saya nak cakap club pula. That's a bad example. Kalau kamu masuk, if you go into a place, everyone in the place is mixing, berborak, sembang, ha 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 ha. So rancak lah. So you also would feel easier to mix up with all the person in the room. Kamu akan rasa mudah untuk bersembang, mix up with everyone. Kalau kamu bandingkan, kamu masuk, if you enter a room and everyone is, that person is sleeping, the other ones are talking very very slowly, the other one lagi duduk jauh-jauh kat ujung corner of the room, so you feel like you hesitated. Kamu akan macam think twice before you mix up with anyone. So that's my analogy how I understood this. The molecules of the substance yang terlibat dalam any chemical reaction akan mudah bertindak balas if the energy level is higher. So that's why higher temperature of the water akan dissolve the serbuk Milo dengan lebih baik. So air panas is better at dissolving solute. Okay, pressure tekanan pun sama. Apa example tekanan saya boleh bagi kat sini? Tekanan. The one that I can think of adalah apa nama? Sparkling water ataupun air gas, air Coca-Cola, carbonated water lah basically. Carbonated water is basically air yang mana kita dah masukkan carbon dioksida dalam air tu. So how do we get carbon dioxide into the water? Is by use of high pressure. If you watch any videos dekat kilang Coca-Cola ke kilang carbonated water, dia akan press, dia akan basically shoot carbon dioxide gas. Dia akan ada satu, katakanlah this is the bottle. Okay, so dekat dalam production line tu dia akan turun satu tube kat sini, and this one akan shoot CO2 into this bottle. Coca-Cola. This is Coca-Cola. So dia akan shoot carbon dioxide, very very high pressure. So this carbon dioxide has nowhere else to go but into the water. Okay, so that's how we get carbonated water. Also kalau kamu notice, you buy carbonated water yang dalam botol ke yang dalam tin, once you open the bottle, open the can, akan ada bunyi. That is the release of the carbon dioxide from the water because the pressure has been reduced. Tekanan tu dah berkurang. Okay, so kalau kamu beli any air tin yang tak dibuka lagi, kalau kamu nak picit the can, akan rasa macam keras. Okay, because tekanan dalam tin tu tinggi. Buka, and then the pressure is reduced. That's why dah senang. And that's why immediately carbon dioxide senang untuk get away from the water. That's why lama-lama after you open the can of carbonated water, you leave it on the table. After a while, kamu minum the Coca-Cola, dia akan rasa macam kurang bergas. Because the carbon dioxide has escaped from the solution. Okay, dia dah escape into the environment lah, sekeliling. Okay. This is not it, another slide. Okay, polarity also another factor. Polarity is a property of substance yang dipengaruhi oleh electronegativity of the atoms. So dalam kedua nanti saya akan elaborate dengan lebih lanjut what is polarity. But for now, just understood it is also one of the factor that affect polarity. Okay. So in understanding solubility, we have observed there are three types of solution. Okay, so a solution is a mixture between solvent dengan solute. Okay, remember air Milo tadi tu. Kamu ada serbuk Milo, which is the solute, and kamu ada solvent, which is the water. Okay, so Milo is solute, air is solvent. You mix them together, dapatlah air Milo, which is the solution. So we have observed there are three types of solution. Three types of solution. So kita ada kita ada apa? Kita ada unsaturated solution. We have saturated solution and we have super saturated solution. So what is unsaturated, what is saturated, and what is super saturated solution? So saya akan guna air Milo, contoh air Milo ni lagi. Okay, so if we look at these two air Milo nombor 1 dan air Milo nombor 2 ni. Okay, Air Milo nombor 1 ni saya letak 1 sudu serbuk Milo saja. And then bila dah mix with water, dia akan jadi air Milo yang cair, tak kau. Okay, I don't prefer air Milo yang tak kau. Okay, cair tak sedap, ceroy. Air Milo number 2, I put in 5 tablespoon, tapi the same amount of water. Okay, 1 mug of H2O, 1 mug of H2O. The difference is the amount of solute. So yang 5 tablespoons of Milo ni, we get one that is kau, air Milo yang sangat pekat, kau, sedap. Okay, most people like air Milo yang kau, manis lah, because we put more serbuk Milo in there, more sugar. Okay, more cocoa powder, more sugar. That's why it's better. Most people like air Milo yang kau. Kalau nak discuss saturated, unsaturated, supersaturated. Unsaturated means kandungan solution tu mengandungi bahan, mengandungi sedikit saja bahan yang terlarut. Okay, there's a small amount of solute dissolved in the solvent. So in these two solution, in these two air Milo yang cair ni is the unsaturated. Unsaturated solution. Because apa? Because dia okay, dia ada sedikit saja serbuk Milo yang larut dalam satu cawan air tu. Dibandingkan dengan 5 tablespoon of Milo ni, okay, so kalau kita kacau dia jadi pekat, kau. Semua serbuk Milo tu larut. So this is saturated. Saturated solution. Okay, maksudnya tepu. How do I know? How would we determine larutan tu tepu ataupun tidak? Kalau imagine saya letak 1 tambah 1 more tablespoon of serbuk Milo, and then saya kacau dalam 1 mug yang sama tadi ni, saya kacau and then serbuk Milo tu tak larut dah. Okay, kalau kamu pernah buat macam ni, kamu akan notice at the top of the mug akan ada serbuk Milo timbul balik semula ke atas. So maksudnya 1 mug of water tadi tu dia hanya boleh dissolve sebanyak 5 tablespoon of serbuk Milo saja. Once we add more 1 tablespoon of Milo, dia tak boleh larutkan dah. So dia jadi tepu pada 5 tablespoon of serbuk Milo saja. Okay, if we add more, dia tak boleh larutkan dah. Okay, itu maksudnya saturated solution. It contains the most amount of solute that the given solvent can dissolve. So here we have established dalam my example ni, 1 mug of H2O ni hanya boleh larutkan maksimum sebanyak 5 tablespoon of serbuk Milo saja. Kalau masukkan 6 sudu serbuk Milo, dia tak boleh larutkan ke semua powder Milo tu. Okay, ada sedikit powder timbul balik ke atas. Itu adalah maksud saturated solution. It contains the most amount of solute the solvent can dissolve. Kalau unsaturated, maksudnya it contains a small amount of solute. Right? And that brings us to the final solution here, type of solution, supersaturated solution. So supersaturated solution means it contains more solute than the solvent could dissolve. Okay, mengandungi lebih banyak solute yang sepatutnya dia boleh dissolve. So for example, I'm going back to my air Milo balik. So katakanlah dalam this example, solution number 2 ni, air Milo number 2 ni, lepas saya letak 6 sudu serbuk Milo, saya kacau lah, dah setengah jam kacau ni, dia tak larut-larut juga. So I take the cup, I take the mug, saya letak dalam microwave, and then I microwave for 1 minute. So I increase the temperature lah, saya panaskan larutan tu. In the end, after 1 minute, we find out, I take out the mug, and then semua serbuk Milo yang timbul tadi tu dah hilang. So that means that air Milo now contains 6 spoons of serbuk Milo. It dissolves more than it could have originally. Pada asalnya, originally it could only dissolve 5 tablespoons sahaja, okay, at room temperature. Tapi bila saya microwave, saya panaskan dia sikit, saya increase the temperature on the solution, dan extra 1 tablespoon of serbuk Milo tu pun boleh larut. Okay, itu maksud supersaturated solution. It contains more solute than it could have. The solution contains more solute than it could have. Okay, larutan itu mengandungi lebih banyak bahan terlarut dari yang sepatutnya dia boleh larutkan. Okay, another example of supersaturated air tin, carbonated drinks. Okay, kalau carbonated drink is just water that we shove carbon dioxide, kita tembak carbon dioxide masuk dalam air tu. Okay, so at room pressure, kalau kita, if you have a tank of carbon dioxide, kamu buka pipe, carbon dioxide tu just akan go into the atmosphere, you breathe in, you breathe out. Tapi kalau dalam production of carbonated water, Coca-Cola, the bottle akan air dalam botol tu akan ditembak with carbon dioxide. Okay, we shove the carbon dioxide into the water, into this sugary water, and then the carbon dioxide will seep into, dia akan masuk meresap, dia akan dissolve into the solution. So we have a solution pada asalnya tidak mengandungi carbon dioxide, but after some pressure is applied on the carbon dioxide, it dissolves into this water, and we have carbonated water. We have sparkling water. If you go on Shopee right now pun ada that alat yang sparkling water dia jual. You can have it in your home. That means you can just prepare a water, plain water, air masak, you put in a bottle, and then kamu masukkan dalam mesin tu, and then that machine akan basically shoots carbon dioxide into that bottle of water. So kamu ada carbonated water, you can do it yourself at home. Saya rasa dijual dalam 200 atau 300 ringgit kot. I forgot. Saya tahu because isteri saya mention dia nak beli, tapi tak beli lagi. So carbonated water is an example, another example of supersaturated solutions. Okay, supersaturated solution meaning bahan larutan itu mengandungi lebih banyak bahan terlarut daripada sepatutnya. Okay, I think that's it for today's class. Okay, basically we have covered all the topics dalam chapter 1. So as what's the word here? Conclusion. What I want you to understand from this chapter adalah I want you to be able to understand ataupun explain what is matter and the types of matter. Okay, for example here kita dah establish matter can be classified into two, pure substance and also mixture. Saya nak kamu to be able to differentiate between elements and juga compounds and juga homogeneous dan juga heterogeneous mixture. Okay, what are the difference between these two? And saya nak kamu juga faham types of reactions. What is physical changes and chemical changes. Perubahan kimia, perubahan fizikal. Okay, saya nak kamu tahu bezakan antara kedua-dua benda ini. And then today kita dah go over kalau kita nak perform, kalau kita nak measure anything in a chemical reaction, you have to know how to convert units. Okay, unit conversion. Kita fokus on volume, temperature, mass, apa lagi satu tadi? Another one. Okay, volume, kamu kena tahu macam nak convert from milliliter, liter, centimeter cubic and decimeter cubic. Temperature kita fokus on Kelvin and degree Celsius. mass, gram, kilogram, milligram. Another one is pressure, yes, ATM, kilopascal, torr. Okay, saya nak kamu tahu, mahir, macam mana nak convert between these units. And lastly, macam mana nak report data. Okay, report data, kamu mesti tahu significant figures. Okay, and also kalau kamu nak understand most chemical reactions, you have to know what is the type of solutions, solubility, and this is the types of solutions. So this is basically the summary of chapter 1. What you need to understand from chapter 1, your takeaway. You can summarize in this mind map yang saya buat. Okay, any questions tentang chapter 1 ataupun significant figure ke solubility? So after today, saya akan share a link for chapter 1 assessment. That will be your tutorial for chapter 1. And then saya akan post kalau dalam untuk nilai punya student, saya akan letak dalam ITEL. I'll let you know bila saya dah post. Kalau cohort 18, Penang, saya akan post dalam kamu punya WhatsApp group. Okay, so this tutorial 1 ni, this will be your assessment lah for your grade. Remember dalam your continuous assessment, your tutorial will be 15 ke 18% kalau tak silap saya. So chapter 1 ni will be part of that 15 ataupun 18% tu. Saya akan gunakan quizzes and akan ada like 20 questions. It will be macam tutorial lah, MCQ, soalan objektif ABC. Dia akan cover all the topics yang saya baru highlight tadi. Okay, so later today ataupun tonight, the longest, maybe tomorrow, the latest, sorry. Okay, so kalau tak ada soalan, make sure before you leave, sign in attendance. Class rep tolong make sure everyone gets the link. And that's it. Okay, see you guys in our next class. Thank you semua.
Thank you, sir.
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 Bye.
Bye-bye.